IGN, which is a video game website, posted their top 100 greatest TV shows of all time. So I went through this list. I wrote down all the ones that I knew you had seen before. And there were 15. So I basically made a ranking of the 15 in their order so that the number one isn't their number one, but it's number one of the ones you've seen. Does that make sense?
And then I can decide.
Yeah, I want to see what you think about this. Okay, so number 15 is Happy Days.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
You know, I just turned that on for the first time in a long time. That entire show is just sexual innuendo.
Is it?
All it is. All it is.
Watching that show when I got older, I wasn't impressed by it.
Yeah. It was just
Is that really what it is?
Yeah, it was just overbearingly like that. It was to the point where it was just kind of cringy. It was just constantly.
Ugh.
But it was like this like 50s kind of
Right.
way.
Like, hey,
it was
it's
weird.
cute and kind of wholesome, but also
We see where it led now. That's why it's like, okay, yeah, maybe in the 90s it was like, okay, but now it's gotten so bad.
Number 14 is The Dick Van Dyke Show.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Wow, I'm surprised that's so low. I'm glad it's on the list though.
That now the opposite
If
of
you
Happy
tell me
Days.
that Mary Tyler Moore is on that list and it's higher than Dick Van Dyke, that will be a bad day.
Okay. The Dick Van Dyke Show is a show that I think has gotten better as you get older.
Yeah.
That show is funnier as an adult than it was as a kid. Number 13 is Survivor.
I think these all seem like good orders to me.
Okay, I thought you would agree with most of this.
Yeah.
So I thought you would be surprised by that. So
Yeah.
All right, number 12 is Batman, the one we grew up watching.
That's higher than Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
That's not right.
So granted, this is a video game website where they're just like obsessed with superheroes. It's
That's
like all
true.
they think
That's
about 24
true.
hours a
Okay,
day.
okay.
Speaking of superheroes, number 11 is 24. Now I couldn't remember if you had watched 24 or if you just saw me watching it.
No, I never watched it. I saw like a couple episodes, but now, Josh, looking back, that show's just propaganda.
Oh, 100%. And let me tell you something. I knew years before anything about Russia happened because when 24 came back for their like bonus season or whatever, the bad guys weren't Islamic terrorists anymore.
Not anymore.
Now all of a sudden they were Russian. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess Russia's going to be the next bad guys in real life.
That's crazy.
Because
What the heck?
that whole show was a psyop.
Yeah, it was.
like
All it was whatever the government wanted to peddle at the time.
And I was right. All right, now, Jordan, I think you're going to like this one. Speaking of propaganda. Number 10, Band of Brothers. Just kidding. But yeah, it is Band of Brothers. What a great show.
A great show. Yeah, that should be higher on the list.
Do you think so? All right, well, wait till I tell you what number 9 is. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That is a good place on the list.
Okay, right in the middle?
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you that they put number 8, they put Sesame Street ahead of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, that's
Sesame Street, a show that is not as good when you get older.
no.
Mr. Rogers is still good.
Oh yeah, Mr. Rogers now after that should be number 1. It makes me so angry.
Number 7, Saturday Night Live.
I mean, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see why that's on the list in the ranking. It might not necessarily be in mine, but close.
It's like, okay.
A couple
It's
here
hard to
or
argue
there.
with. Okay, now get ready to be mad. Number 6, The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Okay. Dude, that show's just propaganda too. That's all it is. That's all it is. Dick Van Dyke isn't. Mary Tyler Moore, propaganda.
Okay. All right.
And I'm saying that I own the seasons. I love the theme song. If we were to rank this in propaganda, Mary Tyler Moore would be not high on the list, but medium.
Let me see if any more of these are propaganda. I don't think so. We'll see what you think.
Sarah watched a movie the other day that was propaganda, and she didn't really
You had to
realize it.
explain it
And
to
well,
her.
then she told me what the movie, because it was like kind of a drama, and she really likes to tell me about those. And so I didn't watch it, but then as she was explaining it to me, I was like, this is what that whole movie was about. And she was like, oh. And then she was like, yeah, I can see that, but then she was like, well, some of it seemed like maybe it wasn't that way, but I was like, yeah.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Number 5, The Office. Number 4, I Love Lucy.
Yeah. That I was going to say that's got to be. Is Bill Cosby not on this list?
No.
What the? That should be number 3.
Number 3 is Lost.
See, this sure, whatever, sure. Okay, this should not be number 3. I'm glad it made it on the list.
Well, we'll talk about Bill Cosby at the end.
Okay,
I know
all right.
this is upsetting to you now.
Yeah,
But
this
I
is
think
getting
I think
worse.
you were going to agree with the final 2. You just would swap them. Number 2, The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
Now, and number 1 is a show that you just started watching recently. Are you ready for
Wait,
this?
let me think. Heartland.
Yeah, it's Heartland. No. You want to take a guess?
Love at first sight.
No. No.
I just started watching it.
Recently. You told me you watched the first season or so, I think. I don't know if you still watched it.
I don't know.
It's a sci-fi show.
I don't know.
X-Files.
That's number 1?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
I mean, look, if you just go by what the masses think, you just think, well, how many repeats were there on TV? How many reruns? X-Files constantly. I Love Lucy constantly.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke constantly.
Yeah.
But not Mary Tyler Moore Show. Why? I don't understand that
Mary
one.
Tyler Moore's show is still on TV.
But wasn't Dick Van Dyke on more? Wasn't Bill Cosby
I think
just
that-
constantly on?
I think that Mary Tyler Moore actually has more episodes, so it's easier for them to syndicate.
Look, Mary Tyler Moore has the superior theme song.
That's true.
It has a great theme song. It's constantly stuck in my head.
Love is all around, and there's no need to waste it.
I loved that song as a kid.
Love is
I loved Mary Tyler Moore as a kid, like her as a person.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked the show too. But as I got older, I realized they're trying to tell me something here. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is, but it's got that sense of propaganda in my mind for some reason. I can't figure it out.
You got that super recognizer. You recognize
Yeah.
the propaganda. It's like, oh, what is it? What am I being told on this?
Yeah, I don't know
level?
why. Anyways, speaking of super recognition, Josh, I have 2.
Do you want to complain about Bill Cosby first?
Yeah, what the heck? Look, did the man do some bad things? Yes, he did some horribly awful things, but the man's free. He's out of prison, so did he or not? I don't know.
I don't know why he got out of prison.
I don't either, Josh. It
I'm
doesn't
not
make any
quite Sure what
sense. It
happened.
doesn't really make
but I
sense.
haven't looked it up. Do you think? Can you separate the art from the artist, Jordan?
Okay, I didn't think that I could because I'm not like that. I can't.
That
I'm
is
really
true.
bad at doing that.
It's
ruined
you're,
for me.
You're sitting here saying Mary Tyler Moore is propaganda.
Yeah, but there was something. There's something about like I remember you like had the seasons, and so I came in to your house. We were down here, and you said, "Oh, we were talking about Bill Cosby because he had just been let free or whatever." So you were like, "Oh, here I have the season." So then you just put one on and just said, "I wonder if this show," because you hadn't watched it in a while. So you just clicked a random episode, and it was just you just skimmed through and just got one random part. We didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest thing. We both just started
Yeah.
dying laughing. I was like, I don't even know the context of
Right.
this. And I thought, what? And it wasn't even that it was a great show. I just realized when I was watching him, I was like, this is literally how I act. Like when I'm trying to be funny. Like if I'm with Sarah, he just keeps going on
Yeah.
and make it more elaborate. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is exactly how I tell jokes,
Yeah.
and I didn't even really
It
know
was
why.
Very influential. To
Yeah.
us growing up. Yeah.
That I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke in some sense because like the way that he moves around a lot, he really kind of like helped because I watched that so much.
Yeah.
You kind of just see the influences. So,
Yeah.
but Mary Tyler Moore, that didn't like propel my future. So I don't really have.
That was just another Nick at Night show that we watched
Exactly.
at Grandma's house.
if I
We didn't have cable growing up,
No.
but we had Nick at Night when we went to Grandma's
Yes.
house, and we watched Mary Tyler Moore. We watched I Love Lucy.
So if you told me that Mary Tyler Moore had gotten into like trouble and this, stuff,
Yeah.
I'd be like, throw her under the bus. But if you're talking about Bill Cosby, who actually had some influence with the way that I,
Yeah.
humor wise,
Yeah.
I would try and pull him out under the bus, but it would still hit him.
I think because I still really like the show. I think what makes it's not like I think I shouldn't watch this.
Yeah, come on.
It's actually that it makes me sad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I'm watching it, I'm like, man, he wasn't
He wasn't
A
the
lot-
all-American dad.
Right. And a lot of what's fun about that show is that you thought Bill Cosby was a nice guy.
Yeah.
You remember when all that's okay, so there's this singer named Ryan Adams.
Yeah.
And I remember this stuff came out about he was manipulating women and like getting them to
Record deals. and
record deals
trying
if
to- yeah.
they like dated him or whatever it was. And I remember like you and I reading that and both kind of looking at each other like, didn't we kind of know he was sort of like not the best guy? Like this doesn't seem like stuff that like I already made that calculation. Like when I listen to music or watch
Calculation.
movies, I've already made a calculation. These are all terrible people. Why
Right.
Bill Cosby is hard to watch is because
It's a betrayal
I
in
didn't.
some
Yeah,
sense.
it was a betrayal. I didn't have to make that calculation. I thought the calculation was, man, wholesome show, nice guy. This is great. Now I just have to think, great show. This is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. But yes, I do own all the seasons because I'm terrified that it's going to get memory hold one day.
It may very well.